Hey everyone, the Sixers have pulled off an really unthinkable trade. Breaking news, emergency pod, Sistad is happy. You should be happy. We're going to get into it. The 76ers have acquired Jaylen Brown. I'm sure you all know by now. And they did it for a player that they wanted to get rid of. Pretty amazing combination of events here. Let's get into it. This is going to be somewhat quick, but we had to jump on and do this. I had to convince you to do this. You were ready to go watch a football match that you don't know anything about soccer or care about soccer ever. Pretend fan, breaking your rule book. But anyway, you're here. We're here. Jaylen Brown is a 76er. Paul George is a Boston Celtic. And I want to do a couple things. One, I want to talk about the trade, like what just happened. The value of the trade went back and forth. Tiny bit on the Celtics, mostly obviously from the Sixers perspective, because this is a New York and Philly podcast. We're looking at the Sixers perspective. I want to then talk about what this does for the Sixers' chances, contention, championship, all that stuff. We're not going to talk about what it does really for the Celtics unless that's part of the Sixers kind of discussion. And somewhere in here, I want to get your raw emotional take. So first, I'll let you decide what order you want to do this in.
I don't really care. I'm just buzzing. So you tell me. Go ahead.
All right. Let me share my thoughts for a second. Because I feel like they're probably a little bit more organized than yours. They're probably like all over the place right now.
It's been a whirlwind for the past I don't know hour. So just to give you a little context, you were the one that broke the story to me.
Yes.
Yeah, and the way that you did it. So funny story. We talk very often about how chaotic my evening routine is, right, with the children and bedtime bath. So every night after the children get out of the bath, we check them for ticks because it's summertime. So I pulled out my phone to get the flashlight so I could check my children for ticks. And I saw a text from you, and there it was. And I've just been like totally spinning ever since. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. This is a lot of this is going to be like real time me processing, but like let's go. Let's just do it, man. I'm super hyped.
All right, let's do it. So, okay. I was putting my daughter to I was holding her while she was drinking her bottle and get ready to go to sleep while I saw the news. So, very very fun stuff. I'm really excited. I know you must be ecstatic right now. You should be. Let's talk about it. So, first of all, the trade. Jaylen Brown, everyone knows the Celtics. Jaylen Brown wanted out once the Celtics were engaging in conversations about him in the Giannis trade. I understand he's probably like, why are you trading me? Like what? I've done everything for this franchise. I've been here my whole career. Why me? Anyway, okay, fine. The Sixers have this player called Paul George, who everyone in the fan base, obviously not literally everyone, but essentially everyone in the fan base, you would think everyone in the new front office is like, I wish they didn't sign this guy. This is a terrible contract. Let's trade him. How are we going to trade him? We're going to have to attach a bunch of draft picks, assets. Is it really worth it, or should we just ride out the 2 years? And somehow they're able to make a trade where they send out this player with this bad contract, this aging player who has shown a huge decline in athleticism and burst and an inability for years to stay healthy on a huge contract. They send him out and they get back a player who's at worst a top 20 player in the NBA, coming off his best individual season in the prime of his career, who essentially never gets hurt. And they just had to throw in 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. When, by the way, I think the value of getting rid of Paul George is probably a first-round pick and a second-round pick. So essentially, they traded a first-round pick and a second-round pick for Jaylen Brown. That's how I read into this. I think this is an absolute steal for the Sixers. I have idea what the Boston Celtics are doing. A very smart, proud franchise. I am a loss for words of what they are trying to do, but we're not worried about them on this podcast, are we?
Wow, I am so happy to hear you say all that. I don't know. Keep going.
Are people
Where
are
do you want to
people
go next?
saying are people saying otherwise right now? Like what is, I mean, I haven't
Dude,
even been on Twitter at all
I
at all.
neither have I. This is like literally my raw reaction, raw emotions towards it. Jaylen Brown is fucking awesome, dude.
He
Like
is.
so it's funny. Going back probably what 8 years at this point. I think probably one of the probably one of like the top 3 times in terms of most upset you have ever heard me regarding sports in your life was in 2018 after the Sixers lost to the Celtics in round one. And I was just losing my mind saying, the Celtics are going to be so good forever. These two
Yeah.
guys are amazing. Jaylen Brown is incredible. Um, and I've just been proven like more right as time goes on. I mean, this guy was the Finals MVP 2 years ago, the Eastern Conference Finals MVP 2 years ago, and like he was awesome last year. Like he
Best season.
finished, I think, third in the MVP voting. He dragged a team that kind of sucked. Like you know, yeah, they had a good regular season, but like at the end of the day, they were starting Ron Harper Jr. and Baylor Shireman in a game 7 at home to save their season. Like, and he dragged that team to 53 wins essentially by himself. And he's awesome. And he just is so great on both ends. He's such an awesome two-way player. He plays basketball. Like, one thing we just don't have to worry about. I mean, obviously, you never know, knock on wood, but like, yeah, the guy
Health. He's
is
healthy.
super.
He
He's
plays every year.
super
Yeah.
durable. He plays all the time. Like it's
You
never. It's
traded you
never
traded a player who never plays.
right.
Like he plays half the
And
games for a guy who
I
plays all the games. And you can
and
rely
who's
on to be
awesome,
healthy for the playoffs.
and
Most
who
important.
is awesome, and who
Yeah.
plays his ass off, and like one thing the 76ers have not had is like I know we kind of joke about this, but they just haven't had a guy who like wants the ball, right? The guy. There are certain players when you are playing against them and they just, not to sound corny, but like they have that look in their eye and it's terrifying. Like Jalen Brunson is one of these guys. Like it's terrifying. And Jaylen Brown is absolutely one of those guys who just will drag the team across the finish line by himself. And like that's the attitude that this Sixers team is going to have now. Jaylen Brown and Maxey and Edgecombe, these guys are all going to try really hard and they're going to give a shit. And Embiid and to an extent Paul George just don't really play that way. They're not really wired that way. Doesn't mean they're bad players, but they certainly lacked that drive. And I'm just like, and the fact that you alluded to it, like this guy is angry and he is pissed off and he's thinking, I just did all of this stuff for your franchise over the past 8 years, and I'm the one who's going to get traded, not the guy who's coming off of a torn Achilles. Like, I think he's going to be super mad. He's going to be super motivated, and he's just awesome on both ends of the floor. He's a great defender. I'm just so excited. I'm just so happy. I mean, I don't know when they had a player like this good just kind of fall onto their lap. I mean, who was it? Jaylen Brown's better than Jimmy Butler was when they acquired him. He's better than James Harden was when they acquired him. He's certainly better than Paul George at this point in the careers.
I'm not sure about the
when they
Harden one,
acquired
but
him.
whatever.
But I don't know. I don't know what's going on
With the Celtics.
I just in general. Like I feel like I'm drunk.
Like this isn't real. This is like, how did this happen? Yeah.
Right. Right. It's insane.
It is absolutely insane. The 2 first-round picks, I know you don't care about first-round picks, but people in the NBA actually do. So to talk about that for a second, there's a value to them. And the biggest value for teams that are big market teams trying to win is trade assets. So I don't know, like, I don't think the Sixers could have held on to those picks and used them in any better way going forward. Like
I totally agree.
sometimes it's through questions like, is that what you wanted to use the picks for? Is that what you wanted to use that asset on? I don't think that's the case here. And I, I've never been like as high in Jaylen Brown as you or some other people. And part of it is because of I know that people, it's been a lot of come out recently about how like analytically he's not as great as, and that's part of the reason why.
Go to hell.
But
I mean, those people can just
well,
go away.
those people are they're taking it to the extreme. Like the analytics tell a story. A lot of these metrics tell a story. It doesn't tell you the whole story. So
right.
But a lot of the things this year that he did, like he used to have trouble, like he would turn the ball over. His ball handling was a little loose. It wasn't great. He wasn't efficient as a shooter. Like he didn't shoot threes well, and he was only like pretty efficient from two. So overall, he wasn't a very efficient player. And with the turnovers, but this year, less turnover percentage, at least lower turnover percentage because his usage percentage was way up, higher shooting percentages. He took a huge leap, by far his best individual season. So
which is
get him
something
off
that doesn't
season,
happen in someone's like 9th or 10th year in the NBA. Like that's something that happens from like year 3 to 4. Like this
Agreed.
guy he's already a really good player, a seasoned veteran who is an NBA champion, Finals MVP, and he got better. And
I agree.
It's just
That's
incredible,
exciting.
man.
It's exciting for the Sixers to see what's to come. Now I want to go into something else. I just want
to say one thing real quick. So
yes, go.
Just to your point of the picks, like it's funny, you and I. So we've been texting throughout free agency. You're sending me little moves here and there. Nothing too earth shattering, right? And you texted me this morning about the Dean Wade signing, and I kind of ho hum, whatever, yay. I sarcastically celebrated it. And I said to you, like they're not doing anything, but it's not a surprise. I think I said they're handcuffed. They can't do anything because they have these 2 contracts that are just immovable. They're untradeable, right? So yeah. I think like best case scenario, and I even said to you on the phone yesterday, like best case, like all you can do is kind of hope that everyone's healthy. Like it's your only option. And like best case scenario was next year, not even this year. Like I didn't think either of these guys were tradable this year. Best case scenario was next year they trade this player along with some picks, and like maybe they get a couple like decent, nice role playery type guys in return, which doesn't really help you too much. I mean, it helps in a sense. It unloads the contracts, but on the actual floor, it's not going to help you much. So just the fact that they were able to somehow pull this off, I mean, I guess it's the best package that Boston could have gotten. I don't know, dude. I'm ecstatic. I'm rambling. So you go right ahead.
I can't believe this trade from the Celtics perspective. Okay.
Play the song. Play that Sixers song, dude.
I don't have it.
Drop it. All right. Edit it in.
Anyway. 2 topics I want to talk about. Let me choose which one you want. Choose which one you want. I want to either talk about I want to think through the downside of this trade for the Sixers.
Okay.
And I also want to talk about where this puts them like as a team. Like what's the status? Are they like the second best team in the East? Are they the third best team in the East? Do they have a legitimate chance to make a finals, win a finals? Which one do you want to go to first? The downside or where they stand?
Let's go with the downside. We'll end on a relatively positive note.
Okay. Let's just talk through this. We're both. I've had about 15 minutes to think about it. We haven't really digested it all. So what's the downside here? They did another win now move, traded future assets for another player that's going to be over. He's what, 29 right now? Something like that. He's going to be over 30. He's extension eligible in about 20 days or something like that. He's going to be getting $70 million a year for the next, if they sign to the extension for the next 4 years essentially. So if he starts to take a decline or a downturn, or if the players don't mesh, or if the roster doesn't work great, you traded assets for a player on a huge contract on the decline potentially, and you're just further you're further complicating a potential rebuild around Maxey and Edgecombe. I guess that's the downside. I mean, I don't think it's. I mean, I don't know if that's a significant downside. I think it's a possibility though, right?
I mean, I guess, yeah. But like, this is why hopefully this new general manager, who I've never said anything bad about, he's great and I love him and he's amazing. That's what you bring this guy in for. I mean, this is the nature of having star players in the NBA. You know, unless their name is Jalen Brunson, like, these guys make a lot of money, they eat up a lot of the cap, and it's your job to, you know, to fill out the rest of the roster.
Do you think this is a little bit? Could you foresee us looking back at this and saying, "Yeah, that was another example of the Sixers chasing the shiny thing, trying to do a win now, fix it in the right now type move instead of letting it play out, letting the contract expire, developing the young players, developing Edgecombe, either using the draft picks to draft rookies or to hold on and then make a trade 3 years from now or 2 years from now." You don't think we'll look back at it like that?
I don't. I don't. If this was somebody who was like not perfect, like not that he's perfect, but like if they were to make this move for Kawhi, say if they made the Kawhi trade, I think there's a much bigger possibility that happens. Kawhi's just older. Like, this guy, like you said, he's only 29.
Older and always hurt. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
he's only 29. He still has probably another good 4 or 5 years of elite basketball in him. So yeah, it's not like that was the thing about Paul George. It's like, hey, Paul George is pushing 34 at this point. You know, do you really want to sign that guy to a 4-year max contract? And it turns out that was a really bad idea. And with Jaylen Brown, he's younger and he's better. And he's more durable. And like, even if they were to give him a big extension right now, that would take him, if they gave him a big extension right now, that would take him to the point of his career to where they signed Paul George. Like, if they gave him a 5-year deal right now, he'll be 34 when that expires. That's how old Paul George was when they signed him to this max contract. Yep. So I just think they're in, you know, I mean, you never know what can go wrong, right? But like, it seems like a slam dunk. I'm a little scared with how like
I'm with you.
happy and how like seamless and flawless this is.
I'm with you. It's an amazing trade for them. I think, just thinking about it though, if I had to give a downside to it, I think the downside is that, look, like, if this doesn't work, whether he declines or the players don't mesh together or whatever, maybe, I don't know, Embiid and Maxey and Brown don't get along. Like, the chemistry's not right. Something's off. That the downside is like, okay, well, now what do you do? Because now we get moved off again of the assets we had, and now we finally got rid of these bad contracts, and now we have another bad contract. That's just the downside. I don't think it's clearly a low risk that's worth taking. This is a super high reward, very low risk. You moved off the terrible contract. If they were trading a player, like if they traded like Maxey, I'd say no, this is a terrible trade. If they traded Edgecombe, I'd say this is a bad trade.
Of course,
they traded a contract they desperately wanted to get off of anyway.
Yes. I mean, dude, this is like, to answer your question, I'm 1,000% good with taking the swing. You know my philosophy. Give me the good player all day long. You can have all my assets. Just ask the New York Knicks, who built their team this way through trades, right? The only free agent they signed was Brunson, right? Everyone else was acquired via trade.
They didn't really build it this way. They didn't build their way trading draft picks for current superstars, though. Other than, well, no, they didn't really do that at all, because that wasn't even the cat trade. So they didn't really trade their draft picks for current stars. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Status. Where do the Sixers stand right now in your mind in the Eastern Conference and the NBA?
Well, unfortunately, we still have a little thing called Joel Embiid on the team, and that will forever be the asterisk or the asterisk, the question mark, of how the season is going to go. But we're going to be happy and positive, and um, let's say that Embiid is somewhat healthy for the season and come playoff time. I mean, I think it makes them probably a top 4 seed at this point, right? We'll have to see how they fill out the rest of the roster. But I mean, if your starting 5 is Maxey, Edgecombe, Wade, Embiid, and Brown, it's pretty damn good. I mean, it's not New York, but it's pretty damn good. What say you?
I want to take Embiid out of this for a second because we've talked about this so many times. Embiid, I have absolute zero belief that Joel Embiid will be able to stay healthy for an entire season, will be able to play 60 plus games. And I have equally no belief, well, maybe not equally, I have essentially no belief that he will be able to stay healthy through 4 rounds of an NBA playoffs.
Totally
Even
fair.
during his prime, he was never able to do that. So the fact that at his advanced age, with all the injuries, to expect him to do it now is just kind of I don't know, dumb. Like what I don't know what you want to say, but it's not based on any rational thought. So
yes,
take Embiid out of it for a second, dude. Let's this team without Embiid, the depth is bad, right?
Yes.
But Jaylen Brown, Edgecombe, and Maxey is an absolute absurd, like incredibly talented top 3 players. And I think part of this is like I expect Edgecombe to take the next step next year and be a really good all-star level player. Jaylen Brown, you can expect to be a whatever you again. I don't think he's gonna be as good as last year. I just don't think that's gonna be his role with this team. But he's a top 20 player, and then you have Maxey, who's also like a top 15 player or so. So that combination of players, plus I think they mesh really well together. Like I think the Embiid I'm taking Embiid out of it again. I'm still taking Embiid out of it. I think those 3 players specifically, their skill sets mesh really well. And I think defensively, that's really good. Like Edgecombe and Jaylen Brown defensively is really good. Dean Wade is a very good defender. So I think if you my point is without Embiid, I think they're a top 5 team in the East. Currently they have to fill out the roster. They're not going to be able to do a lot other than listen, like they're not going to be able to, they can do like a mid-level exception and veteran minimums, but they're not going to be able to do a ton. But there might be they might be a destination where players want to take that could get the mid-level will want to take the league minimum to go play with that team. So maybe you can fill out the roster. I think that without Embiid, they're a top 5 team in the East. I don't even really want to get into it with Embiid. I mean, with him, if Embiid played like, say he just essentially sat out the whole season and played like 15 games, 20 games. They're not going to do that, but say they did, and he was there for the playoffs. Healthy a healthy Embiid in a playoff series, the Sixers would be the favorite in the East. He's just not going to be healthy for playoff series, multiple playoff series. So I just don't know. That's why the whole Embiid thing, I don't know what to do with it. They're going to be a great regular season team no matter what. With Embiid or without Embiid, they're going to be a 50-win team? Mm-hmm. Easy, right? Easy 50 wins.
Sure.
Right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, just like, so I know we have to fill out the roster, but again, just think about that Celtics roster last year that he dragged to 53 wins, right? Pritchard.
But again, you keep saying that, but they had a bench that outplayed almost every bench in the NBA, and they had role players like Pritchard play really well. Like the Sixers need players that are not star big brand name players to step up and have good seasons. It's easier said than done.
Okay.
But anyway, back to your point. Yeah, you're right. He didn't have another star level player. Now he has At least one. I was about to say two, but I don't even know if I count Embiid as star level player because I just don't think it's fair to count on Embiid for anything.
I agree.
And maybe Edgecombe turns into a star though.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more reasonable to think you to expect a star level performance from Edgecombe next season than it is Embiid. Did you agree with that?
I think that there's a strong case for that. Yeah.
Okay, so you will be excited going into the season.
Yes. Unfortunately,
right.
Yes. They've sucked me back in.
I can't. I couldn't. I read it. And I was like,
great.
Wait, what?
This is
what?
Great. I can't wait
to
just
Celtics.
Consume all media. Well, the Celtics are busy, building a big three of their own. I mean, listen, they got Tatum, Paul George, Mitch. I mean, my God. Healthy Mitch. I mean, come on, dude. His pinky will be healed by then. I gotta go.
The Celtics,
I can't. We can't get into the rest of the free agency moves. But
no, I know. Okay, that's it. We'll talk more next week on the podcast on the regular weekly pod. But everyone, Sixers fans out there, congratulations! You all deserve congratulations. Be excited. Be happy. Make fun of the Celtics fans in your life. The Celtics just are lost. And I guess to everyone else,
the Sixers broke them. You're welcome, rest of the NBA.
Yeah. All right. I think this. We'll talk more about that at a different time. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, Sis, that Brad unite. Philly and Y in the spot.